Do 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 do. No, we ain't gonna do that. Do 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 do. No, I ain't gonna use that. How many rednecks you say it does it take to do a something to take it? Whoo! How many rednecks does it take to tear down a 300? Well, hopefully just one. Mr. Pibb and peanut butter crackers. Boy, it's good going down, but coming back up. Need to tear down this 300. It's cold outside, so I could have done something out there, but why not do something in here? We need to tear down this thing and go over it and look over it and see what needs to be done. We need to get this thing ready, whenever we get the money to take it to the machine shop and get everything done the way it needs to be done. I ain't going to have a lot done. Probably just, cylinders bored. We're going to check over the crank. If the crank's all right, we'll reuse it. Use some plastic gauge and do all that fancy mess. And really, what we're after is just taking all this junk off like we did last time, except we're going into excrucial detail. We're going to take off everything that we don't need, all this EFI junk, and just take it to the scrapyard because it ain't going to be needed. And then we're going to get into the internals, take everything apart. We're going to keep everything just in case, we decide, hey, maybe we can just, change out some bearings, change out some seals and just put this thing back together. I don't think I'm going to do that. It really depends on two things. One, how much money it's going to cost me at the machine shop. And two, how far I really want to go into this build. I would like to hop it up some, but I don't want to break the pocket. Now, as you know, this is a motor out of a 96, so it's already going to have increased horsepower and torque. And when we put the 4-barrel intake and the 4-barrel carburetor on there, it's going to bump it up even more. So my thing is bumping it up as much as we can without breaking the bank and making it still reliable. Not a track motor, but something that we can drive every day and will still get us to and fro. So with that being said, it's time to test the theory. Can a redneck take apart a 300 and do it by himself? Well, let's get to it and see. By the way, if you haven't and you made it this far, make sure you like, tune in, subscribe, smash that bell, do whatever you can so that way more people can see more of this cornbread content. So I figured the best place to start is probably with all this junk. I got my kerosene heater there. I'm just going to open up the door. And as long as we stay fairly warm, I'm just going to take stuff off and just chuck it out the door. And then once I get out there, then I can handle it out there. Like I said, half of this junk we ain't even going to need. So I think it's best to go ahead and start tearing into it. something that I did not know. See, I thought there was a block-off plate here, but it looks like that is just casted that way, I guess from the factory. Because I tried to wipe away, see if I see a line, you know, or, you know, that's trying to separate this, but no. And that would be where the fuel pump sits at. So really, that ain't going to bother me none. That's just going to be one less way for it to leak. I mean, you can look at it as a pro or a con. Con being, if the electric fuel pump goes out, you couldn't run a mechanical one. But a pro being, and especially on my end, this is what I'm looking at, is the fact that we ain't going to have to worry about sealing that off and, you know, worry about it, you know, leaking oil. So it's just good for me. So we'll set y'all back up, and I guess we're going to keep at it. But before I go, I mean, got a little bit of carbon buildup, but I think that's fairly clean for 200,000 miles. All right, so I didn't film taking the distributor out. I forgot to press record, but I want y'all to look at this. Right here on this gear, we've got some places that look like they've just been chewed up. And then one of the ears on the gear, or I'm going to call it an ear, it's been broke off. I don't know what causes that. Hopefully there ain't nothing damaged in there. I mean, obviously the truck was running and I heard it run, but I wonder what causes that. I don't really need it. I got a one-wire distributor. I'm not sure how much I trust it, but it did have good reviews on Amazon. So I'm going to try to make this build as simple as I can. It's going in an 86 F-150, and obviously the more simple your builds are, the easier they are to work on when you're on the road. And that's the way that all vehicles, especially American vehicles, should go back to. Well, here's where I'm at right now. Got that upper intake off. I mean, I just been hitting at it. I ain't doing it the proper way, but don't need to do it the proper way. We just take stuff off and, you know, yeet it. So we don't need it. I think that's a pretty good saying. Get off of there. Get off of there. There we go. One more. Right here in the back. Like I said, yeet it if you don't need it. It's coming together pretty good. Got this fuel rail, slower intake, and I believe some of the bolts to the manifolds will probably be mixed in with this intake. I'm not sure how that works. I think they kind of hook together. On the older ones they do. I don't know about these. But after we get that and all this other small miscellaneous stuff, then we can start diving deep into her and really see what this motor's all about. See what she looks like. These motors, if anything's wrong with them, I think they're known for the tops of the pistons cracking. I don't know why. The heads, I don't think they have any problems there. I do know that you'll be able to tell whether or not, if you got a forged crank or not, which these later models, none of them have them. But one of the ways that you can tell, especially if it was used in something like a generator or a pump or whatever, is the timing gears. And right back behind here, they should be metal. If they're not metal, then you know you got a regular cast crank. But if they are metal, I'm pretty sure that you will have a forged crank. But now, since we got some of that junk off of it, we can move it around a little bit without the fear of it going whoop, or the fear of it breaking my good old Pittsburgh engine stand. I'm going to go through and tackle getting this fuel rail off first. Then once I get this fuel rail off, then I'm just going to take the intake off and just leave the injectors in. and see what else needs to be took off. I don't think I'm going to take anything off as far as the manifolds, because I know these bolts and everything that has to do with that is just going to be a bear to try to get off. So we'll have to do something with that later, but let's see if we can't get to it. Alright, I guess the first place we could start is probably by taking these spark plugs out. Just taking them out one at a time, inspecting them, and just see how this engine was running. That didn't break. That's a blessing. You know what? I'm doing this the hard way. I mean, we got technology, right?
Wait, SpongeBob! We're not cavemen! We have technology!
Alright. Wow. These look a little bit different than one of my 86. It's like the, what do they call that? The diode? Looks like it's longer. But this one looks pretty good. It's oil soaked on the outside, not on the inside. It looks like it was due for a change. I'll set it up here and we'll look at them here in a minute. Alright, so number 1 looks pretty fairly clean. 2 is fouled. I mean, they're all fouled, but that one was burning pretty good. 2 and 3, eh. And you get back here. 4, good. 5, good. 6, good. So if we do have any hurt cylinders, it would probably be cylinder number 2. If I was to say, it looks the darkest out of all those. These are auto lights. Ain't worth saving. Throw them out in the yard for a mess that I'll have to clean later. I'm so smart. Now, I'm not quite sure how to take this EGR tube off. I mean, it looks simple enough, you know, but if I was to really tackle this thing, like if I wanted to mess with this instead of letting the machine shop take it out, because I looked it up and I heard these are a bear to get off, I would probably go through here and cut every one of these tubes so I could get a socket on there. And I'd probably heat and oil it and heat and oil it. Because I heard they're known for, you know, rounding off, twisting, snapping, breaking. You know, just whatever the food pyramid of taking nuts and bolts off is. Pretty much every wrong thing that can go bad. So we're going to leave that be. And we're just going to take the valve cover off and see what it looks like. Oh, that one already loose. Probably explains all the oil covered on this side. That and 200,000 miles. That one's loose too. That one was a little tighter. Yeah, and that one was about right. And that one was okay. Alright. Yep. Wasn't even no pull to take that off. It was definitely leaking. If there's no suction, then something's getting out. Okay. Well. Alright. Not too bad. Pretty clean on the inside of there. I'll set this off to the side because we're going to need this bad boy. Not unless we decide to get something different. That's actually a rubber one. A decent one. Keep or no keep? Who knows? Might need it, so I'm going to set it down there just in case. Okay, yeah, it's tight, 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 tight. Ooh, tight, yeah, tight, 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 tight. Well, I'll be. They're all tight. All right, so I got a box. Now what you want to do, I'm going to say, because I haven't looked it up yet, that this is cylinder number 1, and I'm pretty sure that it is. Now you go down each cylinder, and what you do is you basically take everything out in the order that you take it out in, and basically just stick it through the box. And you can take a Sharpie. You ain't got a good memory like me, but I don't think I have a Sharpie down here. So I'm just going to know that I set the box this way. And I'm going to set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I'll know where everything goes and I won't have to worry about it. So we're going to do that. Hopefully won't have no issue. I know this box is kind of, big. So if the push rods do go all the way through, we might actually tear it down and just flatten it out. So that way it don't. But if they do, it'll be all right. I might actually lay them flat. So I'm going to do it. Now that we got all that out of the way and our push rods is out, the only things I think that we have in here would be the lifters. So I don't think anything would be blocking us from going ahead and taking the head off. So if you've never done this before, and I just know this from doing the Bronco, you want to take these bolts out and just crank them loose a little bit at a time until you basically get all of them loose. You already know what I'm going to do, so don't hate me because you ain't me. Whew. All right. All right, that's a little bit. Go here. That was a little bit. Okay. That was a little bit. That was a little bit. That devil's gonna be in the way. Gotta do something about it. Can't have that. Well, I'll be daggone. Who would have known it would have been one size too small? Will you take it off? Probably not. Will I try? Yes, I will. Gosh almighty. Lord, have mercy. Well, what am I going to do about you? I have an idea. Da 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 da. A hammer to the rescue. Not quite there. Sure, that'll work. Back to cranking. Oh Lord, that ain't good. And then this stubborn devil. There we go. Sometimes you just have to go a little bit back and forth. And eventually, whoop, it'll come right out. That and the heat from all the vibration. Let's see if we can't break this thing loose. I really don't, like doing it on the surfaces of the head, but who knows? Maybe we can, put her in there. I don't want to break nothing. But, I mean, where else you got to put this thing? Lord. What do? Because I don't want to put it in there. Oh, looky there. Okay. That did something. Maybe I can bring it back this way and get it knocked this way. There's something holding it. What's going on over here? Oh, I didn't even think. Look at this. I can put it right in there. Okay. It's good right there. Right there. Okay. It's broke loose everywhere. Just don't understand why it's not fully coming off. It's like something's holding it on. Oh, I think I get it. But I better get myself in a good position so when I take this thing out, it ain't gonna kill me. So I know this is probably heavy. It's probably got dowels in here. It's keeping it. Yep. Come on. What in the world? What is going on here? Oh. Duh. I didn't see one. My goodness. How stupid can a man be? There you are, little buddy. Run home now. Okay. Here we go. Lord help me. Because I'm going to need it. Yeah! Yep! That is heavy. Woo! Oh! My goodness. Phew. Oh. Okay. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. That was that bolt right there. It was hard to get loose. I'm going to come over here and show you that. This is what I was talking about. So yeah, I think you're supposed to run thread sealant, these head bolts. And that one had some issues. And this one had some issues. It's kind of crazy. It's like it was, leaking out. But I want you to take a look at this. It has still got cross hatching in there. Now, I can't even feel a ridge. If there is one, if it was, it'd be right there, but look at that. Now that is unbelievable. I can't tell whether this thing was rebuilt or not. I mean, the only thing that was easy, or relatively easy, to get off was the valve cover, and it had a new gasket, but the rest of it looked like it just had old gaskets. And this one right here, I don't think the gasket is left on there. I think it's on the head. But I'll take a look at it and see if it's been replaced before, but it don't look it. And then here's what the head looks like. Don't look too bad, to be honest. It looks fairly clean. Alright, fellers. So we still have a little work ahead of us when it comes to taking this thing apart. We're going to turn this thing around. We're going to look at the underneath. And we're going to see what kind of story it's going to tell us. Whether you know, the main cap bearings are good, or the rod bearings are good, and just to see what kind of shape the crankshaft's in. But I think that's all I'm going to film for today. So with that being said, I'll see y'all fellers in a little while. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get this thing tore down. I'm just tired of seeing it sitting here with pistons in it. I mean, what motor wants to have pistons in it? And if this was a Cars movie, Mater would come out of nowhere and say, "He did what in your cap?" Haven't got much time today, but I was going to bring y'all along. Gonna get this water pump off. Gonna get this crank pulley off. Gonna get that timing cover off. Gonna get that lifter valley cover off and check in there. Flip everything around and just try to get everything done that we can get done today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down a little bit at a time, because you've seen most of the big, breaking down. And I ain't going to set y'all up. I'm just going to take, little breaks here and there, because I ain't got much time. So I'm going to take little breaks here and there, give you updates, and try to get this done so that way we can get this video out. So I'll come back at y'all with an update. All right, so I come to a stopping point, and I'm going to show y'all this just so y'all know what it looks like. I got the water pump off, just 4 bolts. It kind of, amazes me how thin that is through there. Especially with these water pump bolts, these things are prone to breaking inside the block. It don't look like there's that much you could machine out if one does break. But here's another thing you might not know. 300 has timing gears instead of a timing chain. Now these are tough motors, but the reason why, at least I think a lot of companies went away from timing gears, is because they only have one point of contact. And if this one point of contact breaks, well, basically you're just crap out of luck. Whereas a chain goes all the way across through here and rides around, a lot of contact points. Now, depending on who you talk to, they'll say that this system's better. But being what Ford did here in the latter years in the 300, even though they're tough, I don't think was a smart play on their end, because this thing is made out of some sort of tough plastic, while this gear is metal. And though it is, seemed to last, you would be better off having 2 metal gears in here than 1 metal and 1 whatever material this is. Maybe you can put it down in the comments whether you think timing gears are better or whether you think timing chains are better. And maybe put why you think that, and maybe the system, or what vehicle you're basing that off of. Because for these 300s, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But I will be getting rid of that, I don't know, there's like a special name. I'm just going to call it plastic. But I'm going to be getting rid of that, and I am going to be getting me some metal gears in here for the timing. So it'll have a metal one that goes on the crank and a metal one that goes on the camshaft. I'm not quite sure how to take these apart, so I'm going to leave that be, and I'm going to focus on this lifter valley right here and get this out and get all the lifters out. And if it looks like the rest of the motor, I'm sure they'll be in good shape. Well, we're back. And if you're thinking what I'm thinking, I thought this was supposed to have a roller camshaft, but this is a flat tappet hydraulic lifter. Now the later models of these engines, of course, the research that I looked up, Chat GPT, you can't always trust it, but usually they're, pretty right on the money. From what I looked up or researched, 95 and 96, there wasn't supposed to be any more flat tappet, hydraulic lifters, no flat tappet, camshafts. They was all supposed to be roller after 95. And this motor came out of a 96. So I was thinking that it was going to have a roller camshaft. But I started doing some research. And before I even took this thing apart, I was actually thinking about putting a flat tappet cam back in it. Wait a minute. Won't that take from the longevity and the better running? Well, look at it from my point of view. The roller camshafts for this thing, especially a performance roller camshaft, which is what I'm wanting to put back in here is a performance cam, they're hard to find. You can find these flat tappet cams all day, every day. So I'm kind of glad that it does have a flat tappet cam. And like I said, if I change the oil and take care of it, these 300s last forever. I mean, this is literally 200,000 mile engine. It still has the honing marks. The lifters look great. Push rods look great. Rockers look great. Everything looked great in it. So I ain't worried about putting a flat tappet cam back in here. All right, well, here's the moment of truth. Now listen, I'm not going to go through here and take apart every one and show y'all, because I believe basically it's going to be the same. But even as good as the honing marks were, and you could see, you know, crank's pretty good. I could feel, I mean, I can't really feel no grooves, but you can see them. But here's where the evidence of, you know, basically a 200,000 mile motor, you know, sits at. Then when I took this off, this is what it looks like. See it right there? I mean, that right there is evidence of, well, 1, mileage, 2, getting hot, and 3, just ready to be changed. I mean, they have some, you know, scoring in there, and you can't, I don't think, I ain't got no fingernails. I can't really catch my fingernail on any of them, but you can tell it's ready to be replaced. As far as the piston rings go, I mean, ain't none of them gunked up or stuck. Top piston looks good. You know, wrist pin is doing wrist pinny things and it don't feel loose. And the camshaft, well, you know, it looks pretty good, honestly. You know, all the way down through there, looks good. I don't see no visible scarring. Might see one little spot right there on the edge. I wonder what caused that. That's weird. That little lip right there. Ain't never seen that before. And it's on that one too. Weird. But that's about it, fellers. I mean, I pretty much, you know, showed y'all everything. I showed y'all the camshaft. I showed y'all, you know, the crank, pistons, bearings. I think the only thing that I didn't show you was the main cap bearings. But, you know, if the rod bearings are looking like that, I can pretty much guarantee that the main caps are looking like that. They might look better, but I bet you they probably look about the same. So, where did we, you know, go from now? Well, taking this block all the way down and getting everything out would be the first step to the process. Getting the freeze plugs out, and then checking with the machine shop and seeing how much it's going to take to basically get everything that I need done. And if everything's in spec, we can bring the block back, start working on it, you know, get the bottom end first, and then start working on the top end. And we have a motor that's rebuilt that we can throw back in coffer, that we can say that we done ourselves. I got a whole lot of cleaning up I got to do. Parts over there for Chief, and there's the intake, and I need a bigger toolbox. This one just ain't big enough. I got things just throwed everywhere. So, I think that's about it for this video. By the way, if you haven't and you made it this far, make sure you like, tune in, subscribe, smash that bell, do whatever you can so that way more people can see more of this cornbread content. And remember, Jesus loves you, I love you, and we'll see y'all fellers later.